Hello everybody and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. But today's Champions Cup round of 16 review, and it was a very interesting round as 16 teams became 8. We move into the quarterfinals this weekend, and one South African team knocked out, one South African team progresses, and a couple of very interesting results throughout the weekend. Some great performances, and home advantage does seem to be quite an important factor when it comes to sort of these playoff games. I think a lot of it's the traveling, obviously, and the conditions you're used to, home fans and stuff like that. But especially with a South African sort of flavor to it, the traveling can become such a big factor, given the fact that you could be on a long haul flight, for example. You could be landing a day after you've left. You could have 24 hours, you could have time in transit, for example. So it's interesting to see how this sort of will play out. But what we're going to do is we're going to look at every single game. We're going to go through the various results and look at some of the big results, and then have a quick look at some of the fixtures. But we will have a look ahead for the Champions Cup and the Challenge Cup coming out later this week, where we sort of preview the matches to come. Before we do that, please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Friday night, it all started in Twickenham, or the Twickenham Stoop, as Harlequins beat Glasgow Warriors 28 points to 24. They had to come back from behind. And Glasgow Warriors, I thought, put in a really good performance. They've been so good in the URC, and I was really keen to try and see them push Harlequins right to the end. And they did, to be fair. And amazing when you talk about a game of inches. A late cross kick not going to hand for Glasgow Warriors, running out well after the final hooter had gone. And literally, it wasn't even that far away, a half a meter, basically, maybe a meter. And it's amazing how, that was literally the game, half a meter or a meter. If it was a meter further back and it would have been picked up, it would have gone over, and it didn't need to be converted. So that would have been the win for Glasgow Warriors. So it's amazing, especially when we get to playoff rugby, how those margins become so much smaller. But an impressive performance from Harlequins. Andre Este isn't getting on the score sheet, so South African fans have an opportunity to watch him in the Champions Cup once again before making that move back to South Africa. Glasgow Warriors was captained by South African boy Carl Steyn. So frustration for him. Then we saw the pedigree of South African teams in the Vodacom pools, absolutely annihilating Leon. Look, Leon has not had a great season. Playing at Loftus at 1:30 in the heat of the day. Yes, it maybe wasn't as hard as it has been in the last few weeks, but you could see, especially in the second half, that altitude really came in as a factor for Leon. And I thought the Bulls were fantastic. Probably could have scored more, to be honest. Billy though, looking really good. Johan Cruz looking solid. And Bruce Pierre, what a player he is. A couple of youngsters from Bulls standing up. Jay from here had a very good game, and had the Bulls not had such a complicated, upcoming trip now to the UK for the quarterfinal, I'd say they could be genuine contenders to try and get to a quarterfinal, or the semi-final, or even a final. But we'll talk about their travel plans a bit later in the week, and I think that's probably going to be one of the big factors. They're not going to be able to do it. Heartbreak for the Stormers. Monie Bok missing that conversion after at a time to leave the Stormers just short. However, I think it's so minimalistic to just go and say that Monie Bok is the reason that the Stormers lost, when he was the reason they even had a chance. The two tries they scored, he was massive in them. Played such a big role, big break in the first one. That last try, cross kick to Slayman Hartsburg, which is pinpoint. I do think that Hartsburg could have come inside and worked a bit harder to make it a bit of an easier kick. The wind was swirling down the right hand side, right for the kick. It didn't get much. It couldn't get any harder, really. But for me, the fact that Stormers had a 16-0 lead and bottled that's kind of the issue. But it does show that lower shell pack will wear you down, and you cannot write them off. And they go to Leinster this weekend, so what a game that's going to be. In an all-premiership game, the Chiefs edging out Bath 21 points to 15. Solid at work, and once again, a home team going through. And what a performance this was from Bordeaux, hammering the Saracens 45 points to 12. Also at home, as you sort of see, all results but one being won by the home side. Leinster, they're doing the business against Leicester Tigers, did well to make it competitive, but that Leinster team is just so strong, probably the strongest Leinster team we've seen all season. And they set themselves up a repeat of last year's final, where they will host La Rochelle this weekend. And then finally, on the final day on Sunday, we saw Northampton beat Munster 24 points to 14. Had Munster beaten Northampton, the Bulls would have had a home quarterfinal. As a result, now they will have to travel up to Northampton. And then arguably the tournament favourites, Toulouse, really showing their class, remaining to make Anton Dupont back together. And they dispatched Racing with not too much of a fuss. 31 points to 7. Big problem for Springboks that Sia Khaleesi went off with a knee injury. Was walking around, standing up, so hopefully not too serious. In terms of a very quick look at the quarterfinals, though, Bordeaux against Harlequins, Leinster versus La Rochelle, Northampton versus Bulls, and Toulouse versus Exeter. I do think that the home teams across all of these probably are obviously favoured to go through. Bordeaux and Harlequins are a bit of a wild card for me. La Rochelle, I don't think they'll be able to do it again, but if there's one team that can be Leinster, it probably is La Rochelle, and then maybe look at Toulouse. But should be interesting. Let me know what you thought about the round down in the comments below. Please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve. I'll chat to you soon.